Hello, good morning. Welcome everybody. Nice to see you. We're getting this this winter, well, I guess fall light in the windows here. So I might get blinded by the light. Hopefully I'll face the right direction. So today we continue our 8 limbs of yoga, and let's see, we've done the yamas, the niyamas, asana, pranayama, and now we're on the 5th limb, pratyahara. Let me spotlight my video first. So pratyahara is a, as you can kind of see, the 8 limbs are moving inward. So they start off, the yamas are the things that you do with other people, or more specifically, the things you don't do with other people. So not harming, not lying, not stealing, that kind of thing. They're about your relationships. So that's the first step on the spiritual journey, is at least don't do bad things to other people. You don't necessarily have to do good things to yourself yet, but as long as you don't do bad things to other people, you're on the right track. So the second step, the niyamas, these are the things that you cultivate within yourself. The things, tapas and saucha, cleanliness, energy, surrender, the contentment, the things that we want to practice within ourselves to cultivate a good life. So then the 3rd limb, asana, the movements, the stretches, the postures, pranayama, the breathing, and now pratyahara is kind of this turning point going inward. So prati means to take away. Pratyahara actually means food. I couldn't find anything in the research, but I wonder if it started off as like a fasting practice. You're taking away food as this practice of going inward, but it's mainly meant as your senses. You're taking away the external senses. And there's a nice quote here that I wrote in the chat. Pratyahara, the yogic practice of turning the mind to introspection by voluntarily shutting out distractions provided by the senses. I thought that's a really succinct way of putting it. So the 5 senses are generally facing outward, and they're kind of scanning our environment for danger or for opportunity, right? And so the eyes are looking out, the ears are out, the sensations are on our surface, our smell and our taste. It's all this kind of this interacting with the external world. So pratyahara is taking the 5 senses and then turning them inward. So kind of listening to the inner voice or the inner sensations, feeling the inner sensations, looking at the inner imagination, the inner visualization, hearing the inner voice. These 5 senses we want to now turn inward and remove outer distractions. So that kind of sets us up for dharana, dhyana, and samadhi, the next 3, which are concentration, meditation, and enlightenment, the self-realization. So this is really an important turning point. So how do we put this into practice? Well, we're going to do things a little differently today. So we'll start with meditation. So go ahead and find a comfortable seat. You can sit up tall on a chair or a cushion and make your body comfortable. Start by rotating your waist, circling around. And taking some nice, slow, deep breaths in and out. Getting those crackles out of your body. Let your neck and your shoulders, your spine warm up. And then backward, rolling the other way. Circling around. Okay, and then let your shoulders shrug back and down. Roll forwards, up and around. Very nice. Okay, and then let your head swivel from side to side. And as you turn your head, you can also turn your torso as well. Moving the head and then the torso, twisting to one side, holding for a few breaths, and then back to the other side. Okay, and then settling your head back to the center. Take a nice deep breath in. And breathing out. And we're going to follow our senses inwards. So first we're going to start with hearing. So see if you can notice the furthest away sounds in your environment. What is the furthest sound you can sense and pick up? Now see if you can pick up some sounds that are in your proximity in the room that you're in. Now see if you can pick up sounds coming from your own body. And then to take it one layer deeper, listen to the sound of your own voice in your head in the form of your thoughts. Maybe there's a little bit of music, maybe it's a memory, maybe it's your inner monologue. You can use the same sense of hearing on the inside as you do on the outside. So this is one practice of pratyahara, the withdrawal of the senses, turning them inwards. And let's do one more. Tap your fingertips together and feel the sensations of your fingertips. And Now tapping firmly all around your head and your scalp. The sensations on your skin and feeling the bones, the vibrations going through the bones, the physical sensations internally inside of you. Bringing your attention to this surface, the border between the outside and the inside world, your skin, and the surface of your body. And let the sensations penetrate and go inward. And then slow it down, and then as you stop, see if you can still feel those sensations moving around where you were tapping. Your sense of touch now turned inward. And as an anchor that you can turn to throughout the class, something happening internally that you can ground your mind with. Notice and watch your breath. This is one of the most traditional Pratyahara practices. Observing your breath without controlling it. Watching it move through its full cycle, hearing it with your ears, feeling it in your body, your lungs, chest. Feeling the air flowing through your nose. For the rest of the class, do your best to keep your attention on the inside, like your skin is a fence and you're telling your mind to stay inside of the fence for the next hour or so. And if it wanders or escapes, that's okay, just kindly bring it back. It can move freely wherever it wants inside the border of your body. Just for this class. All right, let's move your spine back and forth, arching and curling, rounding and tucking your back. Feeling your neck and throat cycling back and forth. When you're ready, let's make your way up to your feet. And let's get moving with your bow staff and the rest of your body gone. So grab your staff and lay it across your shoulders. And let your arms hang loose. Open your feet and lightly twist from side to side. In true Pratyahara practice today, we're not going to have any music. So no sound distraction. And although hopefully the music I use doesn't distract you in general, having the absence of that will require your mind to do something else, then pay attention to that or enjoy that. And so instead of just taking it away, let's give your mind something else to focus on. So you could use your breath, your body sensations. You could notice the sounds of your body moving, the rustling of your clothing, the sound of the air flowing through your nose, the movement of your feet on the ground. See if you can find something else that you can tune your hearing to. And now rotating forward. And of course, bringing awareness to the sounds inside of your head, the inner voice, the inner sound that your brain interprets very similar to outer sounds. But that quality of being the observer, kind of observing your thoughts rather than just thinking them, there's a difference in that. As you observe the sound, you maintain that objective perspective. Rotating forward and then backward. There's an interesting phenomenon that happens when you do these swimming movements with the staff. If you open your mouth a little bit, but you don't try to breathe, you just let the air get pumped through your lungs, your movement actually breathes for you. You can feel your lungs kind of like a bellow coming in and out. Just from the movement of your upper body. Kind of a subtle observation, but something you might miss if you weren't looking for it. And now take your staff and roll your neck, massaging your neck along the edges. See if you notice the sound coming off of your hands and the bow staff, or maybe the sound of your muscles squirting around inside of your neck. What other sounds are present, happening close to you? Work your way down the upper back, the spine, rounding your back. Some of the more sometimes uncomfortable sounds when you move your neck around, you might hear a little crunching and grinding and popping noises. Generally nothing to worry about. But that's a good practice of pratyahara. That's something you can focus on too. Now take your right hand up, left hand down. Sack of potatoes over one shoulder. The back hand releases and then reattaches with the palm down. And then you can lever and massage that right shoulder. Pressing in. The front hand can slide a little bit closer to you to increase the pressure. Rolling it front to back, side to side. Are there any little tiny sounds that you can pick up that you may not have noticed if you weren't looking for them? The sound of your fabric on your shirt or the shoulder blade moving around. Now take that front hand, slide it to the end, let your fingers drape. The back hand comes forward, creating a lever to open the front underarm chest and side. Breathe comfortably here. Feel the rush of sensation flowing through your arms. Heat tingling. What else do you notice? And then let your front arm come down. Hold the front hand, release the back hand. Let it drop. And now switch, move the staff across your shoulders. Now the left hand attaches. The right hand releases. Line it up forward, sack of potatoes. And the back hand, palm down, reattaches. And lever and massage the other side. The front hand can slide forward to increase the intensity. Like a volume dial, you get to choose how loud or how soft this movement will feel to you. I'm realizing my left shoulder is a whole lot noisier than my right shoulder for some reason. So you have a difference in volume in your movements. There's a lot of grinding and crunching in there. All right, slide that front hand out to the end. Just a relaxed grip, your fingers just draping across the top and your wrist. The back hand now moves forward and taking the upper arm back to a comfortable edge where you feel it open, but there's no feeling of pain or you're not backed against the wall. There's still a little cushion of buffer here. Breathe, your spine getting taller. Watch those sensations swirling around your arms, your shoulders, your back. And then slowly release, bring your front arm down, hold the front hand on the staff, release your back hand. And now take your staff across your shoulders. And let's go forward and backward. So all the way in front and all the way back. Maybe even coming to full extension behind you, but don't force it. And you can keep a relaxed grip to make sure you're not overstretching your wrist. Slow and steady, feeling how the sensations move across your body as your movements create different shapes. Feel how sensation spreads from the shoulder to the wrist and back to the shoulder, across the chest perhaps. Okay, and now in front, you're going to release one hand and flip it around. So one hand is up, one is down. And then release the hand so it's like you're holding a walking stick. Okay. And now take it behind you. Now if you've got wrist or shoulder pain, you can skip this one or just do it very lightly. Both palms are forward, as wide as possible. Very light fingertip grip. Then you're going to raise the staff behind your elbows up to the shoulders and maybe even go over your head to the collarbones and maybe even lower further. The further you go, the stronger the sensation. So play around with it. If it's too much, back it off. And it's okay to kind of pulse or to glide through the range there. Observing a new set of sensations. Where do you feel it? Bringing your mind into your body with curiosity, with awareness. When you're ready to come out, just bring your hands up. You can tuck your head around to glide over. And then release, rolling your wrists, massaging. And relax. Good. Nicely done. Now bring your hands down to your waist. Your hands slide in, your feet apart. Head centered. Slow circles, rotating your waist. All the way around, smooth and steady here. When your mind wanders off, it usually wanders off with one of your senses. You're paying attention to something happening, or thinking about something using your visual or your auditory senses. So you can bring your mind back with your senses. Your senses are a vehicle that your mind can get into. And we're using that vehicle to bring the senses home. Now reverse, go back the other way. There are lots and lots of things around us that want to capture our attention, right? Take our energy through our attention. So pratyahara is a very powerful practice to notice when your attention is being taken away from you and how to bring it back. Quite useful. So now plant your feet, ground your legs, press the staff forward and downward through the sacrum. Draw the shoulder blades back as you lift the heart. Big smile as you do a standing back bend. The energy flowing through the front body. Slowly release. Watch those sensations come back towards you as you come to neutral. Pausing for a moment, noticing all that swirling, tingling, warmth. Now your feet wide, plant the staff at the center in front of you, arms length, hips back, lean forward, tabletop, and let your spine elongate, let the backs of your legs open, fold forward and make little movements side to side, up and down, front and back. Spreading those sensations across your back, across your arms, your legs. With those sensations, there's blood flow, energy flow, lymphatic fluid. Many of the benefits of our practice come from spreading out our resources through our body, distributing these resources. The greatest resource of all is our attention. Think of your attention if it gets concentrated in one area, like you're always in your head just thinking and thinking and thinking, and you don't even really feel your body very much. You're spreading your attention now to the nooks, the crannies, the edges, the core. You're spreading your attention across your body. Take your right hand up, your left hand down, and rotate to the right side. Bringing your attention deep into your spine, in between the vertebrae. Feel how the expansion of your breath changes the sensation slightly. Back to center and soften your knees, rise up and switch your hands now. Left hand up, right hand down, turning the other way. And then back to center, soften your knees, rise up, stand tall, shrug your shoulders out, and release. Wonderful. Very good. Let your shoulders open as you breathe. Okay. Now take your feet wide, and your toes point out slightly. Let your staff rest in the center. Bend your knees as you shift your weight. Side lunges, left and right. Notice how new movements awaken new feeling, new sensations. Not just moving the blood and the energy, moving your mind through your body. And now holding to one side, lean the staff into your shoulder on the same side as your bent knee. Fold forward as you slide down and reach toward the straight leg. Keeping your legs firm and strong, your spine long and relaxed. Which of your senses comes to the front of your mind? When you're ready, bend the knee, press through your legs to rise up, and then switch to the other side. Lean the staff to the other shoulder, bend the hips, shifting as you fold, reaching as you bend forward. Could be the sound of your breath, the sound of your hands on your clothing, the feeling of your weight distributed between your left and right foot, the feeling of holding your staff. Bend your knee and rise back up, and shrug your shoulders, release. Walk your feet back in and shake your legs out. Take your left hand forward with the staff, your right foot forward, and the left leg back, gliding into your lunge. See if you can just touch the staff with fingertips, very light and soft touch. And then when you're ready, hold that warrior one. You can raise your free hand up high, or maybe both hands. If you're taking the staff up, turn your palms up and backwards, externally rotating your shoulder blades that way. Energy rising up your hip, up your ribs. See if you can feel the fingertips, the toe fingertips and everything in between. On your exhale, let your arms come back down. The staff planting opposite your front foot, your free hand extends. And now rotate, turning backwards. You may need to adjust your feet a little bit. Turning your head as you rotate behind you. Just like a person directing traffic, your position, your posture is directing your attention, directing your mind to different parts of you. Feeling now new parts of you coming into your awareness. What are you feeling now that you weren't feeling before? On your exhale, come back to center. And now as you switch hands, you can take the staff now to the outside of your foot, and that allows you to open your body even further the other way. Feeling the chest open. Fingertips stretching out. Your head rotates. Breathing fully into the twist. And then on your exhale, come back to center. Pyramid pose, square your hips and shoulders facing forward. Your staff at the center line, your hands interlace. Straighten your front knee as your hips move back. Arms tilt forward, pressing down through the staff to elongate your spine. Holding your pyramid pose. Sometimes the intensity of the stretch or the movement makes your mind want to escape, but see if you can actually bring your mind closer to that intensity. Go into it. And when you're ready, bend your front knee, rising up. And return to neutral. Switch your feet. Left leg forward, right leg back, or whatever the opposite is for you. And gliding forward. And now I invite you, and especially having the support of the bow staff with you, I invite you to challenge yourself on this next side. We're going to repeat the same sequence, but any chance that you feel comfortable, try to close your eyes. So maybe you just close it at the very end briefly, maybe it's a longer period of time, but see if you can remove one more sense and notice what happens when you take away your external vision. Go ahead and hold still. If you'd like, you can raise one hand up. If your eyes are closed, you might choose not to raise both hands up, but that's your option. You can always open your eyes if you feel like you're losing your balance, but play around with removing your visual sense. And on your exhale, let your arms come down. Plant the staff opposite your front foot. Your free hand goes forward, rotating and twisting. Playing with removing your vision as you feel comfortable. All of the processing power that goes into visual interpretation can now be reallocated to other senses. What other senses become more alert when your vision isn't being used. On your exhale, rewind. Switch your hands. You might move the staff to the outside of your leg now to further open the front body, the chest, as you rotate the other way. Notice how much we rely on our vision for balance. Do you feel the sense of balance changing without your eyes? On your exhale, rewind. Come back to center, squaring off your hips. Plant the staff at your midline. Straighten your front knee as your hips are drawn back. Your spine folds forward, your hands press down. Elongate into pyramid. When you're ready, bend your front knee. Press through your feet as you rise back up. And standing comfortably in the center, pause for a moment, close your eyes, and just feel everything swirling around within you. Very nice. When you're ready, let's take a 30-second water break. So take a short rest. If you want to sit also, feel free. Okay, when you're ready to come on back, we got a few more challenges. We're going to work on your balance a little bit as well. And we'll start with your feet together, your staff off to the right side. Take your right leg, cross your body, lift and circle. And to increase the challenge of the pratyāhāra, sensory withdrawal, maybe close your eyes and do it. Or just blinking slowly or closing your eyes for half of it. Play around with removing your visual sense. Same leg now, reverse, go the other way. See how lightly you can touch the staff. Still maintain balance. All right, shake your leg and release. Let's do the same thing on the other side now. Switch, cross and rotate. Pratyahara is essential for noticing when you're carrying tension, unnecessary tension. Maybe your neck and shoulders are tight right now. Sensing and feeling that and perhaps releasing it. Same leg now, reverse. pruh. And shake your legs out, release. Feet together, ankles and toes pumping, front to back. Lifting and releasing, arching. If you're comfortable, if you feel safe, you can try it with your eyes closed. Return. Now bring their feet parallel. Flip your staff up so your palms are out and your thumbs will go out along the edges of the bar. And we're going to move now to chair pose, Utkatasana. So you're going to sink your hips back and down as your arms come up and forward. And you make this kind of lightning bolt shape. And hold. And for an extra Pratyahara experience, close your eyes. Notice where your mind goes when your eyes are closed. Where does it focus next? Slowly rise up as your arms come down. Take a breath, relax. Sometimes there's just as much sensation when you finish the pose as there is when you're doing it. Notice that part too. We're going to do this 3 times. So once again, sink your hips as your arms come up, chair pose. Close your eyes and notice what comes to light with your other senses when your eyes are closed. Maybe you feel the distribution of your weight from left to right. Maybe you're shifting more to one leg than the other, or you're more front to back. Maybe you're noticing some tension that you didn't realize was there, and you could make a tiny adjustment to spread that pressure more evenly. Go ahead and rise up, arms come down, and keep watching as you finish. Feel that rush of energy as you release. Is there a change in your heartbeat, the breath? Let's do one more time. Hips back and down as your arms come up and hold. Notice that just like when you use a new muscle, it can get tired and exhausting. Maintaining this level of focus can also be exhausting and even irritating. So notice you might be getting tired of navel gazing this much. Hold. Watch with the inner eye, hear with the inner ears, feel with the inner touch. And last one, rise up, arms down, wait for that rush of sensation as you come back to neutrality. Beautiful. Now take your staff to the right hand. We have one more balance practice. We're going to do tree pose. Balance practices are always a form of pratyahara. They tend to draw your mind inward. So the same side foot will lift up and your hip will rotate out. Your toes can touch down, or you can put your sole on your calf, or maybe even higher up to the thigh. But use your judgment how far to go. And your other hand can either raise up, it can come down. You may even raise your staff in the air. Although, the nice thing about having your staff is that you may be able to play with closing your eyes. Having that extra bit of support can allow you to take away the support of your visual balance. And even if you're familiar with the pose, you'll feel like a beginner again. Notice how your mind really can't go too far when you're balancing. It has to come right back. Go ahead and release. Slowly come down. Soft landing. Shake out any little tension. And let's do the other side. Turning your toe, your foot out. Lots of options. Kickstand. Low tree or high tree. Arms up, down, or center. Staff on the floor or lifted, maybe even overhead. Eyes open, eyes closed, maybe one eye open, maybe half open. With more precision, with more detail, what's happening inside of you. And release. All right, place the staff on the floor in front of you. Take one of your feet and massage your arches, rolling and pressing. Another area rich with nerve endings. You pay close attention, you can feel a tremendous amount of sensations on your feet. Adjusting the pressure, softer or harder, revealing new layers, slight tilts, open new areas. Milking the foot, pressing and releasing as you go from one end to the other. And rolling, warming, releasing the foot. Okay, switch, and before you do the other side, standing with your feet neutral and close your eyes. Feel the distinct difference between each foot. And then moving on to the other side. A lot of practitioners of pratyahara, yogis and monks, find places that are naturally less distracting. They might live in an ashram, or they might live out in the forest or the mountains. However, that's certainly a good way to get your bearings and to have a retreat or an experience of resetting, but the ultimate pratyahara is being able to do it in the midst of chaos, in the midst of distraction. Go ahead and press and release. So having such a established and substantial connection to your inner senses that you can pay attention to them in real time, even when other things are happening. What a wonderful tool. What a useful skill. What a practical application. Noticing how your body responds to hearing information, to hearing news, to hearing a conversation, to have the resources of your senses to inform you. Roll it out. And Now standing and feeling the bottoms of your feet, the energy connecting you and the earth. Beautiful. Let's make our way down to the floor. You can move your staff off to the side. And if you have any blankets or props you want to take with you, go ahead and grab those. Once you're on the floor, you can tuck your knees in, rocking, rolling up and down your spine, either vertically or you can go side to side, horizontally. And then open your arms, bend your knees, and twist left to right. With Pratyahara, the process is more important than the product. That sensation of moving through the pose rather than the getting to the end of it or getting it done with. So take your time. And from the center, bend your knees, flatten your back on the floor, and press your palms down along the edges of your body, your feet, hips, and shoulders parallel. Press down to your feet, your knees move away from your hips as your hips rise up to bridge, to a low bridge pose. A good rule of thumb is to lift your bridge high enough that a cat could crawl underneath if they so desired. Feeling the back body engage. Your knees may want to splay apart. Try to keep them parallel, a little like an inward abduction of your inner thighs. Closing your eyes allows you to reallocate that processing power to another part of your brain. And now very slowly coming down, watching out for any small animals that may have crawled underneath you. In the meantime, I think I'm going to be here a while. And now, bring your hips down, your right foot goes up, cross your left thigh. We're going to do figure 4. 2 hands hold the left thigh behind the hamstrings, or if you can reach the shins, you can draw it even closer. If your head is falling off a cliff here, the blanket can be used as a little pillow. This can be a pretty intense sensation. Use that as your pratyahara. Instead of avoiding it, go into the intensity. ready, softly release. Come back down. And now same thing the other side. Cross your left over the right. Use your hands to draw the right leg close to you. Which senses are most active? Is it your hearing, the sense of touch, maybe sound, sight? When you're ready, release, come back down, hug your knees, now both up to your chest, making little circles on your sacrum, releasing your back. And let's now roll over to your hands and your knees. And move up to cat and cow. Rounding and broadening your upper back as you tuck your chin and tailbone. Inhale, slide the shoulder blades down, tilt the pelvis. Back and forth. Closing your eyes may help contain your attention within you a little easier. Now to increase the intensity, which tends to bring your mind in, we're going to do a plank pose, and there's a few versions. You can either stay up like you're about to do a push-up, and you can do it with your knees down and bringing a straight line from knee to shoulder. You could then put your toes under and raise up, or you can do this on your forearms if that's hard on your wrists. And the same thing, you can do it forearms with knees down or forearms with legs up. Go ahead, we're going to do it a minute, but you can take breaks within that minute. So go ahead and start when you're ready. Although it may be hard to see your body position, try to imagine a straight line through the middle of your body, from wherever you're touching down to the top of the shoulders. And then as soon as you need, take a little break. You can stretch it out and then come back to it when you're ready. As the intensity increases, bring your attention in toward those sensations instead of escaping them. All right, now come back to tabletop. Stretch out your back, any direction that feels good. Neck, shoulders, spine. And we're gonna move into child's pose. So bring your knees apart, your feet together. Your hips glide back as your arms slide forward, supporting your head as needed. And this can always be done with two chairs, sitting on one and putting your hands on the seat of the other. Feel the contact of your body on the floor. Whenever you're ready, you can transition back up. Any final movements, any stretches you'd like to do. Take a minute or two, maybe a pigeon pose, a downward dog, an up dog, cobra. Just do a little yoga recess here. Another minute or so if you need to switch sides or move into a few more shapes before we rest. What sounds do you notice? Sensations are present. What tiny details might you overlook if you weren't paying attention right now? So whenever you're ready, let's move into your Shavasana. So you can once again move to your back if you want to roll or twist a little to release any residual tension. Get into the most comfortable resting pose. Maybe you can elevate your legs up on a seat of a chair or couch, or roll that blanket under your knees, or cover yourself with it. And for a few minutes, you can relinquish all control, all activity. As you surrender all external movement, you can now watch the internal movements. mind like a body of water, the more still it becomes, the more reflective, the more transparent. You can see both inside the mind more clearly and outside the mind more clearly. See if you can sense your heart beating, your pulse somewhere in your body. If you'd like to stay a little longer in your Shavasana, feel free. If you're ready to transition back, you can rub your hands together, generating warmth in your palms. Speeding them up until you feel a real heat gathering there. Hands get to about 375. Cover your palms over your eyeballs. Feel the warmth of your hands and open your eyes behind the palms. Let the heat soak into your eyeballs. Stretching your eyes down and up. See if you actually see something in the darkness. Maybe sparkles and pinwheels and shapes. Stretching your eyes left and right. And then massage your eyes. Again, noticing the inner colors inside of your brain. Open your arms, bend your knees, lightly twist from side to side. And then slowly rolling over. Your way to a comfortable seat. And finish with Anjali Mudra, bringing your palms to a prayer pose. Consider, perhaps through the weekend, if there's something that tends to take your attention more than you'd like it. Maybe a habit or an activity that tends to drain you and your attention. Consider replacing that with a pratyāhāra practice, maybe a meditation. Some way you can draw your attention back to yourself in exchange for that habit. I hope that this practice was practical, useful, and enjoyable for you. I look forward to seeing you next week. Namaste.